around my story.
I am addicted to food. I suffer a lot. I need help. I've tried to give up, but I fail every time. Hamburgers. Who can give up eating hamburgers, especially with barbecue sauce? I didn't mind this kind of addiction, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me begin by introducing myself. I am Patricia, 15 years old, living with my parents and my brother. I lead a quiet life. No interests, no hobbies, except for eating, that is. Food is my faithful friend. It never leaves me. It is my partner, my soulmate. But having food as your soulmate has insidious side effects. A dark side, if you will. It denies me a healthy life, robs me of the energy to play, and causes me to sleep excessively. I would much rather stay at home with a bag of potato chips than go out and exercise. My soulmate ultimately betrayed me, though, last Thanksgiving at my granny's home. She lives in a state nearby. Granny was a clever doctor and an excellent cook at that. She could conjure up something really delicious. On that day, she had prepared barbecue turkey with nuts and other secret recipe ingredients. The taste was so great, as if it had descended from heaven itself. I felt like I was fighting a food war, and I had to win at all costs. I ate and ate and ate. I don't know why, but I just couldn't control myself. I attacked that turkey like it was the last on the planet. But every culinary war with a worthy adversary, such as the barbecued turkey, has its own unique type of casualties. Suddenly, I found myself unable to breathe. I fell to my knees and passed out. The turkey had won. I woke up later in the hospital, though, still clinging to an unfinished turkey leg. The doctor told me that I was gaining way too much weight. He said that I should be put on a diet. Diet? Man, how I hated that word. It hung over my head like the sword of Damocles. It meant depriving me of my passion, my reason for living. I considered eating vegetables in small amounts to be the worst form of cruel and unusual punishment, the worst form of torture imaginable. Imagine thinking of a wonderful, greasy, cheese-laden pizza with all the toppings and then suddenly opening your eyes to find a healthy green salad bowl. But I had reached a turning point in life. One day, my brother was playing on the street, while I was sitting at home gazing longingly at a tempting piece of cheesecake, just sitting there, taunting, daring me to eat it. I struggled mightily to resist the urge, but in the end I succumbed and wolfed it down like a starving animal. Shortly afterwards, I began feeling dizzy, but I was unable to call for help this time, and then I passed out again. I was taken to the hospital. While lying in the hospital bed, half conscious, I overheard the doctor say to someone, "She needs to stop eating or it will be the death of her." I thought to myself, whoa, death? So I made up my mind right then, right there. I resolved to fight a new war, a war against my appetite. On our way back home, I told my father that I wanted to see a nutritionist. He was delighted to hear that. Later, at the clinic, the doctor welcomed us in. She told me how to overcome my eating fetish. She gave me a strict diet regimen with a schedule full of healthy meals. I kept telling myself that winning this war was possible. I simply had to be patient and persevere. I stuck to the strict diet and did some physical workouts. My parents supported me wholeheartedly. I was enthusiastic. I can totally do this. A week passed quickly, and I eagerly visited the doctor to receive some good news. When the doctor weighed me and told me that my weight hadn't changed at all, I was crestfallen. She looked at me and asked me, how was this possible? I told her I didn't know, because I was following her diet thoroughly, though it did require a tremendous effort on my part. Another week passed, and again I went to the doctor. The results were the same. She said to me, "Patricia, are you sure you're following the diet I prescribed for you?" I said yes. She sat there wondering. Then she told me with a puzzled look on her face, "It's odd, but your weight is increasing, not decreasing." This unexpected piece of news mystified me. Another week passed. No change. The doctor was nonplussed. I returned home with a dejected look on my face. My father asked me what was wrong, and when I told him, he laughed. Do you believe that? My father actually laughed at my predicament. I was furious. He gestured an apology with his hand and then told me that it was my own fault. I was puzzled. What are you talking about? He told me that I had been sleepwalking to the refrigerator every night, and eating everything in sight. I was taken aback. I couldn't believe it. "Stop acting like you didn't know it," he said. "You must have been awake." I replied, "No, Father, I'm not acting. I was truly unaware that I've been sleepwalking and eating in my sleep." But now that we've finally solved the mystery of the increasing weight, we returned to the doctor with this new information and told her the situation. She laughed and told me that my discipline had denied my body the food it craved, but my brain had refused to cooperate and had overridden my will by urging me to eat in a subconscious state. She told me not to worry, though, that she could treat that. Armed with this knowledge and her support, and the support of my family, I felt that I could finally win this war.
Hi, my name is Jennifer, and you might recognize me as a former famous child star. You might be wondering what happened to my life. Well, I worked as a singer at a local bar in our town. You might be wondering why I never pursued my career. Okay, let's just say they stopped giving me projects when I reached the age of 11. Because the producers said I'm not that pretty to be a teen star. So when I stopped being cute, I became unemployed, which is not bad. I finished my studies and got a really good job. Also, I have an amazing boyfriend. He's a lawyer and he comes from a very prominent family. But I have this habit of ruining everything that is good for me. I don't know if my boyfriend is still gonna talk to me. You're probably wondering why. Because I just ruined the engagement party of his brother. I was extremely at fault for this. It all happened because of my insecurities. This was deeply rooted when the film outfits started rejecting me when I was really young. Plus, I have two sisters who look exactly like my beautiful mother. I, on the other hand, look like my father. I also inherited his lack of height. Don't get me wrong, I'm not ugly. I'm just not that pretty. And my sisters always make fun of me. But I'm extremely talented. When I sing, I get a lot of tips from people. My employer always gives me extra cash because a lot of my fans go to his bar on a regular basis just to watch my gigs. This is where I actually met my boyfriend Sam. Anyway, before I proceed, kindly make sure you hit the subscribe button. Who knows, you might just win a free ticket to one of my concerts someday. I will start telling you this story by how Sam and I met. One night, I was at the bar and singing at the top of my lungs. Then after the performance, all of the customers applauded and requested more. Then, a drunken guy grabbed me by the arm and started to harass me on stage. To my disbelief, I just found myself hitting the guy with the microphone. Sam also happened to be there. The drunken guy and I ended up at the police station. The drunken guy sued me. Turns out he's the son of a very powerful politician. But Sam represented my case and they dropped the charges. That was mainly because there were a lot of witnesses and they testified that I was attacked first. Since then, we became really good friends, and eventually, our friendship blossomed into a beautiful romantic relationship. Sam is a super great guy. He didn't give me any reasons to get jealous from any other woman. But also, I realized that I don't know anything about his past. I never really got a glimpse of his world because whenever he asked me to meet his friends or his family, I chicken out. I always take work as an excuse. I always say, I have a gig, rain check, and that's my usual response. Then one time he told me that his mother just came back from a super long trip and that she's interested to meet me. Well, we've been dating for almost a year, and I ran out of reasons to dodge the situation. So I said, yes, let's do it. Before the weekend, I went to the mall to buy a new dress for the meetup. I was able to buy a nice long black dress and I bought some accessories as well. I really wanted to wow Sam's mother so she would like me for her son. I cannot bear the thought of losing him. When I was done shopping, I went to the burger shop and bought one for a takeout.